Hey, good morning, fellow patriots. Beth at Ozark Prepsteaders here. My phone did an update last night. Everything's wonky this morning. It's throwing me off a little bit off my game. Just wanted to touch base with y'all. I don't know how many of you are super tuned into what's going on. Probably most of you. We had a little brouhaha with AG Barr yesterday. You know, I think a lot of folks thought that Barr and Durham were going to kind of step in and be the heroes and the patriots that we feel we so desperately need right now. It's been a little disappointing that, you know, there haven't been any big arrests. There hasn't been any big bust up of the deep state. Lots of evidence of fraud well beyond the election, just in general, you know, Hunter Biden and Joe and, you know, their ties to China and all that stuff. And we all kind of hoped, General Flynn, you know, the way they tried to railroad him, I think we all kind of hoped that the DOJ was going to step in. I think we've all known for a while the FBI is kind of a lost cause, but we were really banking our hopes on the DOJ, right? So if you're like me, whenever you heard that he gave this interview to the AP and that, you know, basically he said there was no evidence of fraud in the election, your first thought might have been disappointment and a little bit of anger. I felt that way for about 30 seconds, and then I realized a couple of things. First of all, I don't believe that he actually gave an interview. I think they pieced together different things he has said over a different period of time and put it together as a quote-unquote story. We are seeing a lot of propaganda come out of the mainstream media right now. A ton of propaganda. We are currently in the Civil War. I'm going to keep bringing that up and keep saying that because that is truly what is going on. We are at war within our country right now. It is a battle of good versus evil. It is a battle of socialism versus capitalism. It is a battle of the Constitution versus not the Constitution. And it is a battle between globalists and nationalists. It is raging full on. Unfortunately, the mainstream media is controlled by the globalists. They do not have the best interests of Americans at heart. They don't care about America. In fact, America just stands in the way of them making more and more money. You know, there's been so much brouhaha about Fox News and how they are traitors, and folks being so excited that their viewership has dropped off, you know, by 50%, 60%, in some cases 70%. I hate to tell you this, but it doesn't matter because Fox News is owned by Disney. And they're all globalist corporations. They're all in bed together and they're going to get subsidies. You do realize that for years, CNN's viewership has been like 1.2 million people. How do you stay in business and run a quote unquote multi-million-dollar media corporation when your viewership hovers, you know, maybe on a really good day, you're up to 2.5 million people. Well, you do that because you're getting subsidies, right? You're getting paid to push propaganda out. So we all know the majority of media companies, 90% of media in this country is owned by 6 global corporations. That's why it's always so funny whenever folks get so excited and on their high horses about, you know, whatever propaganda the mainstream media is pushing out at the moment. Like, they just lie. They literally are getting paid to lie. It is propaganda. It is a psychological operation. This is what they used to do. For those of you who remember, see, back in the day, like I'm in my 50s, right? So whenever I was growing up, Vietnam was still going on. And back in the day, we were all very aware of the propaganda that the opposition would put out to try and demoralize the troops. So Saigon had a radio station, and all it did was put out lies about how bad we were losing, how badly we were getting beaten, how American soldiers were running away to join the other side. It was just propaganda, right? That's well known that that's always been done in time of war, and we're a nation at war. We've got a civil war raging, and the propaganda that the other side is putting out is big. It's bigly. So anytime I hear things like this, like what they said about AG Barr yesterday, the first thing I do is I look and see what the president and the president's close allies are saying. And aside from his legal team releasing this statement that basically said, there is a lot of fraud and we're on it, there really wasn't much said. And then right after the quote unquote article interview with AG Barr was released, then like 5 minutes later, maybe not even, I think it was more like 2 minutes later, there was a bunch of brouhaha on social media about how Attorney General Barr has been called to the White House, and everybody's like, yeah, because he's going to get fired. Like, it's all bullshit. It's all BS. Don't listen to that stuff. Don't fill your head up with false narratives that just get you upset and make you feel like we're losing. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us to feel like we're losing. They're trying to make us feel hopeless. They're trying to make us feel like, all bets are off. So my suggestion is, if you are going to spend FaceTime with your devices, if you're going to watch and listen to the reality of what's really happening, okay? I have listened to almost 10 hours of the Arizona hearings. I listened to all 3+ hours of the Pennsylvania hearings. I listened to the majority of the Michigan bullshit yesterday. There's some propaganda for you. And I'll be listening to the rest of the Michigan stuff today. That's actual testimony. Those are actual witnesses. That is reality, okay? And the fact that CNN and other mainstream media won't even cover it, and the fact that social media censors, I don't know if you're aware of that, but a lot of these whistleblowers and folks who have done affidavits and people who are testifying then jump on social media to answer questions and talk about it, and social media censors them, completely shuts them down. Well, if things are so bad and we're getting beaten so badly, why do they have to censor all the voices? These are real live Americans who have signed affidavits, who at great peril are going out there and sharing their stories. And when I say great peril, I'm sincere, because as we all know, the left doxes people, attacks people, tries to physically harm people, threatens people, tries to get people fired. That's what the left does to people who they don't agree with. So for folks, hundreds of folks, hundreds in all these different states coming forward to share their stories publicly, they're going to be filmed. They have to get their names out there. There's no way they can hide who they are. They know that the left is coming for them. For them to be willing to do that, there has to be some truth to all of this. And instead of the left saying, well, let's look at this case by case and we can help prove and discount what they're saying. Instead of doing that, they just go after them personally and shut them down so they cannot speak, so they can't share their story. So who's winning and who's losing? I think our jobs are to remain positive, to continue to throw our support behind the president. I wrote Tom Cotton again yesterday. I was very, very clear. It took me 5 minutes. I literally did it while I was in the waiting room at the doctor's office. And all I said was, look, I'm not hearing enough from you. You need to be speaking out. You need to be standing up. You need to be speaking out for the millions of people who have been disenfranchised by this voting. And if you don't, you'll never get another vote. It's that simple. That's all you have to do. Let them know where you stand, let them know what you expect of them, and let them know what the consequences will be if they don't stand up. So do not let all of this bullshit get you down, okay? I have sweared twice in one video because that's how frustrated I am and that's how crazy it all is. And I know a lot of you are feeling the same. Do not let them get to you. It is propaganda. 90% of what the left is putting out right now is propaganda. Here are the kind of things you need to watch for. I saw 2 different instances of personalities on CNN talking about Trump's path to victory, how he could still pull this out. Now, they look at it like he's cheating, he's going to have a coup, whatever. They can call it whatever they want. The fact that the other side is starting to talk about a possible victory for Trump means that they know it is possible that Trump could have a victory here. They can spin it however they want, but the fact is, there's too much information coming out, too many affidavits, too many folks in the military who have been involved for them just to blow this off completely. Could Trump still lose? Absolutely. And we'll all deal with that whenever the time comes. But the facts are, we are seeing a mountain of evidence from very, very credible sources that there was a huge amount of fraud in this election. And there's a really good chance he could turn it around. The biggest battle right now, in my mind, is the clock. Like, we just have a very limited amount of time for them to do all the things that need to be done, for them to work their way up through the court system, for them to get in front of these legislators and encourage them to do the right thing. We're really up against the clock. And to me, that's the scariest, hardest part. So that's all I wanted to share for this one. I hope y'all are doing okay. I am a little stressed out over here, but it's gonna be okay. I got a great husband, and my beautiful son, Jacoby, turned 19 yesterday. We got to have a little party. That was super cool. And I just keep plugging away over here. And you all need to do the same, because that's all we can do. Stay positive. Continue to pray. Remember that the Lord has this. Remember that we have a cover in Christ. And yeah, I'm going to catch you on the next one. Y'all hang in there and keep the faith. Don't let the bastards get you down.